You know how when we go shopping, sometimes we get overly excited and we might buy some things and we get home and we look at the items we bought and we say, why did I buy that? I can make all of that. Why did I buy that? Well, I did that recently. I went in a craft store and I wanted to add some fall items to the back of my headboard. I always decorate up the back of my headboard. And so I thought, well, rather than changing out the garland and everything that's already there, I'll just add some fall picks to it. So I was shopping and they had some real pretty fall picks. And I got home, I took everything out of the bag and I looked at it and I said, what am I doing? I'm a dried flower person. I have all kinds of dried flowers that are just perfect for fall, and they have the beautiful fall colors, and they would work perfectly just to stick in this garland that I already have on my headboard. Why did I buy all these things? Have you ever done that? I think we've all done that. I don't mind using faux flowers sometimes, and I do because there are some very realistic ones looking. But because I dry such a large volume of flowers and so many different kinds of flowers, I was like, I'm not sure what I was thinking. I think I was in the store and all of the decorations were out and I was like, just drawn into that. You know how that happens. So I do want to show you, it's rainy outside. It's been raining for several days, and I want to take a minute to pass along our condolences to anyone who has lost loved ones or property or anything like that during this current hurricane season. And I am so, so sorry. We've been praying for you. And when one member of our country hurts, when one state, when one city, when one town hurts, we all hurt. So we've been praying for you. We've been very fortunate in our part of the Blue Ridge Mountains to not have some of the extreme high winds from the hurricane that some have had. We've had rain for many, many days and some flooding in our areas, but we're very blessed here and we've been safe. So we're so sorry for all of you that have been in harm's way. Our hearts are very sad over that. But because I can't really get outside in the gardens and do any work, I have a lot of work ahead of me, as most of us gardeners do. I thought I would show you the dried flower decorations that I have around in the house for the fall. I want to show you these couple of really pretty little bouquets or arrangements that I made up. Everything that you see here, I have dried. Everything except the roses I've grown. So I do want to say that if you like dried flowers, if you want to make your own decorations, that you can grow your own flowers and you can dry them. Drying flowers is probably one of the easiest things you can do. All of the flowers that you see here were dried in the hanging upside down method, and it only takes a week or so to dry most flowers, weeks, sometimes 2 weeks. But I'll just run through some of the flowers real quickly. This is amaranth here, and you can see the couple different colors. I have the burgundy one and the hot biscuits amaranth. And this is winter wheat. I grew the winter wheat not this past winter, but the winter before last. I sowed it around October, the 1st of October, and then around April, it had the wheat heads, and I harvested those and dried those. Let's see what else we have in here. This is limelight millet, and it dries really beautifully. I hope you're seeing this in the camera. I don't have anybody helping me film. We have frosted explosion grass, this one here, the kind of fluffy one. And what else? And then of course the roses. I just picked up these roses from the grocery store. It was probably like February, because during the winter I like to do something, so I wanted to dry some roses and I just hung them up upside down. But aren't they pretty? They have a real antique-y looking color. I hope you're seeing it there. So I thought it complemented this vase I found at a thrift store. It was like $2. And I thought they just all really complemented each other. I have this on a nightstand in our room. And so I was really happy with how this turned out. I kind of had this in my mind, how it should be. And it turned out just like I had it in my mind. And then on the other nightstand, and you'll see my headboard in a few moments, but I have this beautiful lady here, and she had flowers in her for over almost a year, and they were dried flowers, of course, that I had dried. And I said, wait a minute, I need to really spruce her up for fall. So there's more roses, there's some yarrow. This was all grown from my garden and dried. millet, and I love the way the amaranth hangs down, kind of like hair or something like that. But she turned out really pretty as well, and more frosted explosion grass. So I'm very happy with how she turned out. I debated, my granddaughters and I were shopping, and they were with me, and I debated and debated whether I should buy this lady because it's really not my decor. But I thought, okay, let's just spruce it up a little bit and change it up a little bit. And I'm so glad I bought her. And so she does perfectly with dried flowers. Before we leave this part of the house to show you the headboard, I'll show you my mantle. And I'm always so hesitant to film in the house because the lighting, I never know how to do the lighting. We do have some lighting, some filming lights for when my husband and I do our Bible study channel, but I don't use them on my gardening channel. And so I'm always like, oh, is this going to look good? So I apologize if it looks kind of weird and off in the color, but it's just, I don't know how to do lighting. So anyway, I'm really happy with how the mantle turned out this year. And I try to change it up every year. I've always done this pretty much. I may have once or twice done faux flowers on my mantle, but mostly I've done my dried flowers. So I'm so happy with how it turned out. I didn't have any of my own pumpkins this year. My pumpkins were a bust. Definitely had drought during the summer, and even though I watered my pumpkin vines, pumpkins take a huge amount of water, so all my vines were stunted, and I've never had a problem growing pumpkins, but I usually have my own pumpkins on the mantle. But anyway, I'm just so pleased with how this turned out. I love the amaranth, and you can see the straw flowers. I'll probably insert some footage that you can see it a little bit closer. But let me show you these if I can get them without. They're a little bit delicate, but still kind of sturdy. These are sunflowers that I dried last year in silica gel, and they're just a sunflower head. And last year I think they were the Pro Cut Lemon, so they were bright yellow. And they stayed bright yellow all last season when I used them in another area for decorating. But you can see how they've really kind of faded and antiqued up. I don't know if you're seeing that, but anyway, the colors just complement the colors that I've done this year on the mantle. So happy that I saved these and had preserved them, and they're not you know, like broken up and everything. And I was real happy with the way they faded. I thought, oh, that just turned out perfectly. This is a what is that, brass little pitcher that I have. I have all kinds of brass and silver and things, pitchers. But this arrangement has bulrush that just is from the farm here that I dried a couple years ago actually. And then some sunflowers and some more amaranth. So I really love how everything turned out. And then of course the twinkle lights, you've got to have your twinkle lights. These lights are on a timer, and my little squirrels and things like that. So happy with the way this turned out. This is broom corn, and I grew this broom corn, and I had this barrel, and real happy with having this. You can see the different shades of the broom corn. Some of it's kind of a burgundy or rust color, and some of it's more of a wheat color. But broom corn is very easy to grow, and it gets very tall. I grew mine in a 2x4 raised bed, and it grew probably 10 feet, oh well, yeah, maybe 8 feet tall. And it was humongous, but it did really well in that container, and it was not in a big space, and you can see how much broom corn I have. So, and then I have another little thing that I put some more broom corn in. So you can grow your own decorations for fall. So you can see here the headboard and the garland. The garland that I have is just a green garland. It is faux, it's plastic or whatever, and I leave that on there. I'll probably take it off for Christmas, or I may just add some things that I've dried that can work for Christmas in here. But you can see how the amaranth is just, it all just works so perfectly. And then I will definitely show you some close-up shots. Then I just cut some of the blooms that were already in the aging stage off of my paniculata hydrangea shrubs and stuck them. I didn't even dry those because they will just dry in place. So I just stuck them in there, and I think it worked out so perfectly. And you can see the lady's head over there, and then behind me you can probably, I don't know if you can see this one, the one that I just showed you. So I'm so pleased with how this all came together. And then I realized, okay, what am I going to do with all of the faux flowers that I bought? But I do have friends that I can give the faux flowers to or use them another time. And I did use the little pumpkin picks that I bought from the craft store. So they just really accented it. And I was so happy with how everything turned out. And of course, we know that autumn time, fall time is such a short season. So it won't be long. And I will be changing this out for Christmas. And I'll show you that when I do that. But I'm really excited that it dawned on me a little bit too late, a little bit after the fact, that wait a minute, use your dried flowers. What are you thinking? And one more thing I'll show you here. I have this basket and it has a little hanger on the back. And I just filled it with some more broom corn and some more bulrush. And it hangs right on that cabinet right back there. It hangs on the little doorknob. So it doesn't play real well when I go to film it. So I thought I would just show it to you. But very natural looking, very easy. And all these dried flowers I will store in my dried flower cottage. There's no heat, there's no air in my dried flower cottage. I just have windows in there for ventilation and 2 little vents at the top. And let's see, this is maybe the 3rd year that I've had my dried flower cottage, and everything holds up great. So I'll keep everything. I'll probably change it up next year a little bit. Sometimes I make a garland out of marigold flowers. They dry perfectly, and different things like that. So I'll change it up and see what we come up with next year. But for now, I really love how all the colors turned out and how they've all complemented each other. And I had a lot of fun decorating for fall. And I'm looking forward to Christmas, but I'm just going to enjoy the fall decorations and Thanksgiving season. And anyway, so that's all I wanted to share with you today. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you a million times over for your support of this channel. Please leave me a comment, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, because that really, really helps YouTube and the algorithm and all of the stuff like that. So speaking of faux flowers, I do want to share another video, probably following this one. I do have some faux flowers, not the ones that I bought for the headboard, but some more faux flowers that I want to make up for a friend of mine who can't really have too many real flowers in her house because of allergies from one of her family members. So I have some really pretty fall looking and even summer looking faux flowers that we're going to be putting together in another video. So stay tuned with me. I really appreciate you, and we'll see you next time, friends. Happy gardening. Bye-bye.